Connor, one of the captains of the BYU football team, the four. What does that mean to you to be named captain this year?
Every year that it's happened, it's been special. Because that's the of all the awards you can get nominated for and other things. Like there's none of them that are voted on by your peers. And so I think this is probably like the I don't know how you say it. Probably like the it's not necessarily an award, but I guess a nomination. I guess that I'm most proud of is because these are my brothers who are voting. Like they have confidence in me, to lead the team. That means the world to me. And so, it's pretty special, honestly.
What was the best and worst part of not having a game week up until this week?
I would say, I guess the worst part is just like having to hit the same people every day. I know we talk about that, and like 'cause spring ball too, you're practicing against yourself, all of training camp, you're practicing against yourself. And just like that's teeny tiny light at the end of the tunnel that, hey, on Saturday night, I get to hit somebody different, and it's pretty exciting. And just, you know, it's why you're here. You want to go play games in Lavelle Edwards in front of the fans. That's why you come to BYU is to play in these games. And so it's like obviously the excitement surrounding that. So
A lot of conversation, obviously, about the motivation of what didn't happen last year. You've said, hey, we left yards on the field. What are you most excited about for Saturday in terms of, okay, we're going to show that this is going to be different? What is this to
I'm
you?
excited to run the football, man. I'm excited to run the football. That's been our biggest area of focus in the offseason. It's where we lacked the most last year. And when you can't run the football, you kind of handcuff your offense. And so I'm pretty excited. And Southern Illinois is a good defense. They're a really variable defense, and they move and they slant a lot, which can make it a little difficult to run the football. So there'll be some dirty runs for sure, some 1-2 yard gains. Like that's going to happen in the course of a football game, but just that consistently pounding the rock and being able to consistently move the offense down the field in the run game is something I'm pretty excited to go do.
Give us a sense of what it's like once you break the huddle or if you're at the line, pre-snap, what you look at, what are some of your keys?
Sure.
What are you communicating?
So when we break the huddle, you get the play call from the quarterback. You break the huddle. I come up to the line of scrimmage, and I just go by levels. I look at the first level, the defensive line, because what front they're in is going to determine what set of calls I can use. Then I move on to the second level, because where those linebackers are at will narrow down my calls even more. And then I look at the safeties, and where they're at, and that'll kind of put the icing on the cake for like what I decide to do. Whether it's protections in the pass game or who I want to take where in the run game. Um, and so, Coach Woods obviously has a specific set of rules that I follow for what the defense presents. But when you run a lot of variable defense, things can change pretty fast. And I think that's something that people don't often realize is a linebacker or a safety could move just a couple of yards and it could completely change how we block that play. And so it's my job to get up there, analyze the defense as fast as I can because the rest of the offensive line, the tight ends, the running backs, they're all waiting for my call or my mic point to tell them what to do on that play. So they're all kind of just sitting there staring at me, waiting for me to get that done.
This year, with the communication from the offensive coordinator straight to the helmet, how does that adjust things for you guys as you await for the quarterback to kind of tell you the play, or are you still looking at the sideline for stuff too?
No, we'll just wait for the quarterback. I think it'll make things a little faster.
Hmm.
Right, because we don't have to wait for the quarterback to look over and we have to decipher all the signals. Now it's just the perimeter players usually who are going to have to know the signals, and um, the quarterback can literally just relay what he's being told right out of his headset, and we can get up on the line of scrimmage. And I like that personally because that gives me a couple extra seconds, to go through the process that I just described.
And that means a lot, right? That's probably an extra
Yes.
5, 10 seconds to
Yes, big
figure that
advantage,
out.
especially when there's motions and other things. Gives me a few more seconds to adjust things if we need to.
Hmm. How are the tablets? Do you like that feedback? Is it something that you're like
Yeah,
using
it's
now?
cool. It's cool. We've been using them in practice and stuff, trying to figure out, the best way to do it. And I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's really cool to be able to go watch there live, but I think sometimes you can overanalyze,
Hmm.
while you're in the middle of the game where it's like, look, at the end of the day, you got to go out. that can give you some keys on what's going on, but at the end of the day, you got to go play. You can't be. Coach Woods calls it the paralysis of analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes, and I think sometimes for me being kind of more of a cerebral player, sometimes I'll be staring at that tablet and I'll be like, oh man, I saw that safety creep and I barely missed it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like when I go out there and it's like, yeah, it's because I can press pause on that tablet. Like in real life, I'm never going to see that. And so it's like not getting caught in that stuff and over analyzing. But I think it's going to be really cool.
You guys know who the starting quarterback is, but that's going to be held publicly until Saturday. How was it in fall camp in terms of seeing both guys battle? And then when it was discussed who the guy would be, how was that embraced by the team in terms of knowing you're probably going to need both anyway?
I mean, well, I don't know who it is.
You don't know
So,
who Chase Roberts said the receivers know who it is, but you don't know who it is.
I don't, dude. They're just touching my butt. I don't look back who's
I'm going to
back
stay
there
out
and
of
what
that
they're
one,
doing.
Connor.
So I don't ever look back there. I'm facing
You're
the other
breaking
direction.
the
I can
huddle
tell
with
you
that
I'm
guy,
getting
Connor.
smoked. No, so I mean, honestly, you know, watching them go through this together, the way they've handled it, they've pushed each other and they've both improved a ton. And, you know, with both of them getting voted onto the leadership council, I think that reflects how the team views both of them and the confidence that we have in both of them. And, you know, it's a physical conference and they're both quarterbacks who like to run, you know, so at the end of the day, at some point, we're going to need both of them for something. Um, and so I think, you know, but I think that competition, you know, whoever ends up starting on Saturday, you know, is a much better player than they were a month and a half ago because of the quarterback competition.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to Saturday. I know you do. It's going to be a lot of fun, BYU in Southern Illinois. Connor, we appreciate the time. Best of luck, man.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Good to have you back.